Hi everyone, Steve here. Welcome to Monday Morning Musing, this summertime budget version. Listen, we're talking about issues of context and culture. I've often said to people, jokingly, what would you like on your tombstone? And I often say, I got them to pay attention to context and culture. I want to talk about some things that folks just take for granted, things we're very passionate about, and just show you how nuanced they are and how you can't just grab your favorite Bible verse or go to the book of Revelation and make a big case of some minor point. Let's take the issue of justice. People are really fixated on that topic as it comes to issues of heaven or hell, and we'll get to heaven or hell in a minute ago. Do you know that in the scriptures there are three different types of justice? So when somebody says something like this, well, I believe in God's justice, and I believe in God's holiness, and God's justice needs to be satisfied, I'm saying, you got to say which one. They probably don't know what they're talking about. Three types: retributive, reflexive, and restorative. And they're all in the scripture. That presents a challenge. You can't just shop the scriptures like a menu from a Chinese restaurant and pick your favorite one. We have to work out the implications of all three of those because they're all in there. How about issues of heaven and hell? Who's going, who's not, what they are, and so forth. You know, pretty much the entire fundamentalist message is all about who's going and who's not going to heaven or hell. Do you know that there are three different words, unfortunately all translated as hell in the scriptures? And in some of them, even God and the righteous are in hell. And from those three words, there are 9 different possible renderings, 9 different possible interpretations, 9 different meanings. So when somebody starts talking about hell, you have to ask them which one, because they have no idea what they're talking about. And it's one of the worst, most unfortunate, egregious translational issues, that botched jobs that have ever been done in the scripture. Which of the three are you talking about? And one of them, and it's in the scripture, is actually a pagan idea. It describes where Zeus sends the monsters to be tortured forever. I don't know about you, but my God isn't Zeus. And so when that verse is used, or that word is used in the scripture, we need to sort some things out. And it's not just as simple as saying, well, I believe it's an orthodox point of doctrine that we must believe in hell. Which one? Most people have no idea. We do a whole seminar. It's available at stephencrosby.sorelms.com, 6-hour video series on that topic alone. How about heaven? Well, I believe we're going to heaven because I've given my heart to Jesus. And I believe in heaven and hell issues. You know, the gospel is simple. It's heaven or hell. Well, I say, which one? Do you know that in Jewish cosmology, how the Jews viewed the universe, there were 8 levels of heaven? 8 heavens. So when somebody starts talking about heaven, you need to ask them, which one? Doesn't St. Paul even mention the third heaven? Well, how many are there? Well, no, it's just heaven or hell. Well, which heaven? 8. Well, the Bible doesn't specifically say there's 8. It infers that there are. I'll give you an example. Psalm 48. Is Mount Zion on the sides of the north, the city of the great king? I'm quoting from Psalm 48. Mount Zion is not on the north side of the city of Jerusalem. So we now have a problem. Is that a mistake? Is that an error? Would that causes problems for, inerrantists? What's that verse talking about? In Jewish cosmology, in the Jewish worldview, the throne of God was in the 8th heaven. And in the 8th heaven, there was a Mount Zion. And in the 8th heaven, it is on the north. Is Mount Zion on the sides of the north, the city of the great king? It's talking about their view of where Mount Zion is. And that on earth, what the Mount Zion on earth was a reflection of the Mount Zion in the 8th heaven. I am willing to bet that most of you have never heard that. Folks, because if we're serious about educating people and telling you the truth about what Scripture really says a lot of very sacred cows and very deeply held beliefs unravel. And when beliefs unravel, the power behind those beliefs unravel, and the money stops flowing, and the whole system starts to collapse. Ignorance is not a fruit of the Spirit. And these are things that, if I ask a typical Christian about their opinions about heaven or hell, boy, they got strong ones. And in just 5 minutes, I've just touched on we often don't know what we're talking about. So when it comes to Bible study, when it comes to formulating your belief system and your doctrines, let's make sure we understand culture and context, and let's maybe ask somebody who might know a little bit more than myself before we're so strong and so hard and so arrogant on things that we think we're so sure about. And that's what he did.